Hey homemakers, hope you're doing well today. Today is going to be me in the kitchen. I have so many things to preserve. So come along and let us homemake together. On Saturday, my husband and I went to the Tswana Asian market to buy our produce. So on this day, it's a Monday, I decided to start with the cucumbers because I had bought a lot of them. I got a bag of cucumbers. I think they were about 22 cucumbers in a bag, and I got this bag for 60 Rand. So I just wanted to start and make some fridge cucumber pickles. This is a very simple and easy recipe, and it is very delicious. We like to have them in our homemade burgers, our wraps, sandwiches sometimes, and even our salads. I have a goal of expanding our garden, but before doing this, I thought it would be wise for me to start by arming myself with some preservation skills because I thought of the harvest that I would have and what I would do with it if I do not know how to preserve. So, as a result, I started buying my produce in larger quantities and I bought from the Tswane market. This market is primarily where the big grocery stores usually stock up. I've seen their trucks a couple of times there. This has helped me to become very economical as well in my home. So usually I used to spend about 500 rands a week to buy produce, that is our vegetables and fruit each week. And now I found that because I've been stocking up on fruits and vegetables for a while, I am now only spending 700 rands a month on fruits and vegetables. It's a huge saving. And one thing I've realized is that I am not even running out. So instead of buying just a small bag of bananas, I now buy a box of bananas. And when they start turning brown, I put them in the freezer. And these bananas I use to make smoothies and I use to bake with them. Same with the apples. Last month I bought a box of apples and now I've got some apples left over, and some of them are actually mushy and my kids don't want to eat them. Because I have a no waste kitchen, I came up with a recipe because I found one recipe online for apple muffins, but I didn't like the way they were doing them. So I had to chop and change and do some few tweaks. So I reinvented that recipe and came up with a wonderful recipe that my kids love of apple muffins. I will show the recipe and I will actually be doing this later on in the video, so continue watching for this recipe. A jar like this of store-bought gherkins is usually going around 68 Rand in the stores. And to think that I only spent 60 Rand to buy the whole bag of cucumbers, of which there were about 22, and I'm using 16 to make these pickled cucumbers, and I've saved the rest so that we can eat them fresh as a snack or in our salads. But think about it. Out of these 16 cucumbers, I was able to have about 8 jars of these pickled cucumbers. That is very, very, very economical. And what I love about it is that I get to put in what I want into these pickles. I know exactly what went into my pickles, and it is a very cost-effective way. The motive I have with this video is to encourage you to think more like a producer and less like a consumer, and to start thinking about those things that you usually buy for your family and start thinking of a way for you to make them instead of purchasing them. The recipe is really quite simple. You actually put a cup of water to a cup of vinegar, then a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of sugar. I will put the recipe in the description box. But for me, because I was doing about 16 cucumbers, I ended up doing 6 cups of water to 6 cups of vinegar. And then I did 6 tablespoons of Himalayan pink salt. That is why it changed the color of the water a bit. And then I used 6 tablespoons of sugar. To the jars, you can add garlic if you want, a bay leaf. You can add some dill. I didn't have dill. You can add peppercorns, and you can also add mustard seeds. You can actually use apple cider vinegar if you want, but I am using white vinegar in this regard. Then you just need to bring the brine into a boil, and then you're gonna stir until the salt and the sugar they dissolve. And then once it has done that and it's warm, then you can just turn your stove down and then wait for the brine to cool down, because you don't want to scorch your cucumbers. So once your brine has cooled down, then that's only when you will add it to those cucumbers. And then once you're done, you just shake your jars, and then I like to leave them a bit on the counter so that I know they are cold before I put them into the fridge. I consider my homemaking to be a career, so I am continuously learning in my field. As I was waiting for the brine to cool down, I quickly walked to the library, because we have a library just up the road, to get some books about preservation, making jams, gardening, so that I can continue adding to my skills as a homemaker, so that I am better equipped to build my home economy. I got the jars from Checkers Hyper if you're interested in purchasing them. Now coming to our apples that I have. So this recipe calls for 4 to 5 apples, depending on how big the apples are. It will yield 24 muffins. So you just peel them and then you grate the apples. And then once you are done with that, you are going to do your wet ingredients separately to your dry ingredients. I will also leave this recipe in the description box. So I will give you the recipe for 12, and then obviously if you want to do double that, you will double the recipe. I think the star of this recipe is the mixed spice, the spice that has the nutmeg, the cinnamon, and the cloves. That just takes the muffins to another level. I've done this recipe 3 times in a row. My kids love, love, love these apple muffins. And I still have a couple of apples to go through. So if you have any good apple recipes, please do share them in the comment section down below. This ended up being lunch on the day, and the kids loved it with some cut oranges. Thank you again for watching. Till next time. Bye.